meeting. Without further ado, let's please go to my first slide. And as you will see, I am going to discuss mainly the EU and US situation, also touch on Japan as well, and the Canada. Now, the fact is that biologics is a field which is not very well understood among regulators and among the industry. But since the introduction of biosimilars, this is changing. The scene is changing not only in developed or advanced regulatory countries, but also in emerging regions as well. So it's a remarkable phenomenon taking place because of the introduction of the class of drugs called biosimilars. My discussion today is centered around all aspects of biologics, not only biosimilars, but there are a lot of lessons to be learned from this field that impacts the development of new biologics too. Now, the EMA is in its 9th year of review and approval of biosimilars. And the FDA is basically paying a catch-up situation, which is very unusual because the European system is based on the FDA experience. So FDA is now testing its regulatory framework for the first time, as you know, with 3 submissions last year. The EU biosimilars experience, as mentioned just now, has had a profound influence on regulators worldwide, and led to a new degree of sophistication regarding the development of biotech products. If you consider the approvals in Europe, we'll come to that shortly. Really, most importantly, the recent ones in 2013, 2014, you will see how an incredible pipeline of new classes of biotech products are opening up in new therapeutic areas. I want to also touch on the Purple Book by the FDA and the very interesting development this year that the FDA, in spite of the fact I felt that the first of the biosimilars drug that they reviewed should be approved, they went to an advisory committee. So a precedent is set with the ad hoc committee of the FDA. And as some of you will know, that committee is constituted of KOLs, key opinion leaders, and it's invoked normally in controversial areas. Then finally, the bullet I want to make is a point I want to make is this last bullet. So we have the 351K ABLA reviews by the FDA, 3 last year, as I already mentioned, and the first Zarzio, which is GCSF, we would expect the approval in the coming weeks. And that is to meet the FDA timeline, as you know, for the biosimilars approval. Then I also want to mention that there are 2 pathways, as some of you know, and one is the classical, the Food and Drug and Cosmetic Act, and the other is the PHS or PHA Act of the FDA. So that's the Public Health Services Act and the approval of the many biotech products by CBER in the past. And these ones fall under the ABLA. Now the Purple Book is built on the same concept as the Orange Book, which you are all familiar with regard to generic